I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm on it.
Hey, Freak Show! You're going nowhere!
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Welcome back, kids and coaches, to another episode of West of Nowhere. I am Levi.
And I am Alexander Supertramp.
Oh my god. Are you gonna die in a bus?
I might, dude. In a magic bus.
Magic bus?
Yeah, it's called the magic bus.
Magic carpet ride.
It's a nickname for your mom.
Whoa, gross. Where'd Alexander Supertramp come from? That's a random reference.
I don't know how it came
again
up.
Or what?
Yeah, so that's what happened. So I'm with somebody who never has ever seen, any movies.
Any movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
So many good movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
aren't those
Love Her to
people
Death.
just wild?
They're the worst, all right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah, what did you do in your free time as a child? Play outside?
Yeah. Now, I did that too, but I've also seen all of the movies, so like
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand it. Yeah.
But I forget how I even came across it. We were just like talking about something, and for whatever reason in my mind, Into the Wild just like boom, and I was like, "Oh my god, have you seen Into the Wild?" And she goes, "What is that?" And I was like, "This movie is beautiful and sad."
Yeah.
And so we watched it.
Yeah. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Very sad story. I wish I would have known that we were near where that bus was when we were in Alaska.
What?
It's moved now, but where we were, it wasn't that far.
Oh, like in the original spot where they moved it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because they moved it a few years ago, but like...
When we were there, it was definitely in the right spot.
Yeah.
Holy.
Water might have been too high, though. I don't know. Might have had the same problem he did, but...
Dude.
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy. If you haven't watched the movie, it's... I don't even remember where he went to school, but it's a very intelligent kid who came from like a well-to-do family. And
He went to Emory in Atlanta, Georgia.
And just dipped out. He's like, here's all my money. I'm fucking out of here. And he just started like living out of his car till it broke down and got washed away in a typhoon.
Like a flash flood.
Yeah. And then just backpacked and hitchhiked across the western edge of the United States and then up to Alaska. Yeah.
I like to think that everything in that movie happened is what really happened, because like there's so many beautiful moments.
Yeah.
In that movie.
The hippie couple is my favorite. Yeah.
I kind of was partial to the old man.
Oh my god, the old man makes me feel bad. This is probably the only old man I've ever appreciated.
Dude. The
like,
the final scene when they're in the car together.
Yeah.
Dude, I cry a little bit every single time.
Yeah, he's just so like sincere. That guy, that actor, is just really good at playing like a very sympathetic old man, because he plays Gemma's dad in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
In his arc, and he's got like Alzheimer's in that show, and like he's just really good at making you feel very sympathetic to his character. Like he's just got one of those faces where you're like, oh fuck, don't be mean to this guy. Like I'll reach through the TV and beat the shit out of anybody who's being mean to this old man.
Dude, yes.
Yeah. That's an interesting little sidetrack. Before we get distracted too far.
Yeah. Speaking of people who are sympathetic to our plight.
Nailed it.
We'd like to thank Adam Ficino, Mark Stadler, Kylie Gangwish, Colby Jordan, Colton Zamersla, and Chantel.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be one of those people, you can head on over to our link tree, hit that old Patreon link, and boom, I'll say your name with my velvety voice.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a Patreon supporter, then just sharing us with your friends is the best way, and it's free, completely free.
Word of mouth, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, so do all the things. Check all our stuff out. We'll see you next time. No.
It's been a great episode.
Yeah. This is a quick hitter today. Yeah. Man, I'm stuck on that movie now.
Yeah.
So the Supertramp name, like, that he decided to pick for himself, that's like half the reason why my old Facebook got deleted. Because I tried to change it to Supertramp and it auto corrected to Super Trump, and then they're like, "That's not your name," and I'm like, oh, fuck. Which is really funny because it was right around the time, right after the election and everything, so it was like, people were like, "Why are you arguing against him so much if your fucking name is Super Trump?" I don't get it.
Come on, dude. Yeah.
Pick a side. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Dude, I think Emil Hirsch is a very underrated actor.
Yeah, I dig a lot of things that he was in. He was in that. Gosh, what's that? What's the Speed Racer? He was in that.
He was in Speed Racer.
He did pretty good. He was also in that Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, holy shit. He was.
He's really good in that. That whole movie
he
was
was
just depressing though, but yeah.
The Girl Next Door.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Lords of Dogtown, which I thought was okay, nothing like crazy.
Yeah.
Alpha Dog, which is something I was like that he was really good in.
He's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
That's not even showing up for me.
plays the dude that Sharon Tate was hanging out with that wasn't Roman Polanski. I can't remember his name.
One of the Beach Boys?
No.
Oh, well, whatever.
He could play a Beach Boy though. He does kind of have that vibe going on, but yeah. Yeah, Emil Hirsch is a good actor. I like him a lot. And he seems like he's a very, normal type of person. He doesn't get all into that like extreme, what do they call it? When you're like very eccentric, like the super.
Oh, like method acting?
Yeah, like those kinds of people where it's like, oh, God, you're probably just a chore to be around all the time. You're always in character. I don't drop character till the, what does he say? Oh, to the DVD commentary. Drop it thunder. Speaking of DVD commentary, got some comments from the
Nice.
YouTube. That's how you do it right there.
Dude, we're getting real good at this.
Yeah. You should be professionals or something. Kylie, back in the chat, dropping hammers. Making fun of me for finally uploading the Existential's Childhood episode. And now everything's out of order, so you're welcome. And then she says, "Hey, you laugh all you want at my stream of consciousness commenting, but I do it for the algorithm." We're not mad that you do it. We are just identifying how you do it, like what's happening.
I do like how last week you said you wish you had tagged
And
stuff
she did it on every single
every
one.
comment. Yes.
Yeah, iconic. She also agrees that moose are horrifying. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what, like, you know how like dogs are canines and cats are felines. I don't know what moose are,
Moosin.
other than terrifying.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't know what their like, fancy Latin science name is. But whatever species, because like they're got to be in the same category as elk, right?
You'd think so.
And elk are fucking creepy as shit. Like, the sounds elk make is probably my least favorite sound in a non-bird species. Like, it's just so creepy, especially if it's real quiet and that's all you can hear, and you're just like, okay, don't like this at all.
So, the scientific name for moose, I'm going to butcher this,
Fuck yeah.
is Alces. I'm not even lying to you. Alces. Alces. So they're not even in the same family. Because elk are a Cervus canadensis.
Oh, weird. I mean, obviously they're not like super duper related, but I think they'd be kind of in the same genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ooh. So I guess they're related to something, some actual. Oh no, I'm an idiot. It was another fucking. It was another click for the moose, but just says Alsace.
Oh.
Dude, reindeer's scientific name is Rangifer Tarandus.
That's not a scientific name. That's the dude you buy fucking methadone from.
Dude, Rangifer Tarandus. That's the
Rangifer
scientific.
Tarandus. That's a sketchy
For
guy in the
reindeer.
Walgreens parking lot. That's who that is.
That's somebody's parents who don't wear shoes. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
believe wholly in fucking the crystals.
Yeah.
Like,
This guy followed Alexander Supertramp's path. He does it
100%.
every year. He
Except
bought
for he
the bus
takes-
when they moved it.
right? And when he goes on the trip, he takes a blow up raft so he doesn't get stuck over there.
Yeah, and packs a lunch instead of trying to figure out what kind of berries to eat.
Or that 35-pound bag of rice.
Yeah. Kylie continues that they should start doing catfish the way they do catch a predator. Like find some older folks getting taken advantage of by catfishers. Don't care about that. And then they get arrested for elder financial abuse. Good for them.
But that's not catfishing. That's
Yeah,
just
that's
fishing.
just crime. That's
Yeah.
that's just doing police work. You're just a detective now. What the fuck? Yeah.
You're a detective, Harry.
Dude, To Catch a Predator, though, I love that show so much. And I haven't watched, because I know Chris Hansen still does, kind of the same kind of thing, but it's different.
Yeah.
Have you seen these people on, Facebook who are trying to do their best to catch a predator impressions?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's
fucking
some that are
wild.
okay, that's cool, good for you that you're doing that. But then there's this one that's from Norfolk in Nebraska, and this
I thought
guy is fucking wild. I'm pretty sure he's schizo. If I had to guess
Yeah.
between that or being methed up all the time, it's got to be one of them. But right now he's on this train of people are, what's he say, gang stalking him at 3 a.m. in the hustling, bustling metropolis that is Norfolk, which is not that big. And, and he's like, you're telling me that I'm the only one that's seeing this stuff? All of these things just line up perfectly? And he's just posting all this nonsense, and people are in the comments yeah, dog, that's exactly what we're trying to tell you. But he was, for a long time before that, he'd ask people who follow his page to help him pretend to be underage, right? So he could lure people into wherever, and then he'd show up to a public playground that they decided to meet up at and go, I gotcha, you're fucking creepy. But now I think he's just crazy, so there's that. Yeah.
I agree with tracking people down like that and making them and humiliating them at the very least, because if you're not law enforcement, there's not really, I don't really feel like there's much you can do except for just make them embarrassed.
Yeah, you can't really citizen arrest people like that.
Why is that? Why can't you citizens arrest? Dude, I grew up my entire life thinking citizens arrest shit was real.
Yeah.
But if you try to citizens arrest somebody, you can just get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And the cops are just like, that's what you get. And it's
Yeah.
well,
Maybe call the number next time. Yeah, I've never looked into actually trying to citizen arrest anybody, because I think it's, very much this just is gonna go badly. And as a kid, it sounds cool. I'm gonna citizen arrest our teacher for being dumb. And everybody's like, yeah.
well, dude, at what point does it stop being citizens arrest and become kidnapping?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's a good point. I think when you take them home, probably. You should probably just leave them in the public place where you arrested them. I don't know.
So does that mean I could handcuff someone? It's I caught them stealing. I could pull out my handy dandy handcuffs, handcuff them, and leave them handcuffed to a parking sign and then call the cops and be like, they
I don't
were
think
stealing.
it works that way.
Oh, this is bullshit. Dude, Spider-Man has led me to believe something totally different.
Yeah. Well, he's also, a vigilante, though. He's not. You know what I mean?
So, wear a mask when I call the cop.
Yeah, there you go. And maybe don't use your own personal cell phone. Yeah. I think that, like, I agree. I like that this, like, yeah, embarrass these people publicly, that's great. But then you get into the waters where they're messing up active investigations.
Yeah.
And this guy that I'm talking about in particular, he's like, oh, they just won't do anything about it. It's like, well, yeah, because they don't want to work with you because that's not going to help them in court. Like, get your weird ass in there and start saying all the crazy shit. And they're like, fuck, there goes that. So all that hard work gone down the drain. And immediately this guy's like, obviously it means the
They're in
Nebraska
on it.
State Patrol is trafficking people. It's like, okay. Or
I mean,
you're
wake up,
crazy.
sheeple.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a random tangent.
I love it.
So she's got some long ones here. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go with this one so it can set up my first story. She's talking about the teacher who got fired for having OnlyFans. She says every time she sees an article about that, she gets pissed. Her product is behind a paywall. Who is looking for it? Like you guys said, pay teachers what they're worth. Give them resources. They need to be successful. And they won't feel the need to supplement income elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can pay for porn, why can't she make it? Scream it for those in the back. As a double standard that women get slapped with, men consume porn and it's totally fine, but the women who makes it is lesser human, whack. Yeah. Yeah. The women are lesser, obviously. Figure it out. No. It is crazy though. Like, have you ever watched the movie Middlemen?
Middleman. No, I mean, I don't know who's in it.
Luke Wilson and Terry Crews,
Maybe I have.
Giovanni Ribisi.
That name sounds made up.
He's the creepy guy in Ted that tries to kidnap Ted.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's his name?
Yeah, Giovanni Ribisi.
Gosh.
Yeah, he's Italian as shit.
Yeah.
So the premise of the movie is that Giovanni Ribisi and this other guy, I can't think of his name, are the ones who invent the pay system that enables credit card transactions that were initially used on the internet for porn. Like, that's where all credit card internet transactions stemmed from, was porn. Like,
No way.
and that's these guys. They were like, we just, we want to do this. And so they made their, they made this code. They coded it all themselves, and then they start getting in too deep, and they have to call in Luke Wilson to come help them out of a pretty messy situation. The movie's really, really good, but at the beginning, it does I don't know, kind of like a really interesting overlooking like lead in where Luke Wilson's doing this voiceover and talking about the porn business, and he's like talking about how profitable it is, and he's like, and all of this around something that nobody admits to watching.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Like, just that makes me think of what Kylie was talking about. I was like, now people still seldom admit to it, but it is still making a lot of money, and yet the people that consume it, they're like, oh, you're a terrible person for creating it. It's pretty backwards. But,
Yeah, well, I mean, because at the end of the day, the main religion of our country is still Christianity,
yeah,
and you're not allowed to be okay with looking at naked people. You know? That's bad.
Well, not only is the main religion Christianity, because a lot of European countries are very Christian, but they're also very more open about sexuality than we are.
Right.
And it all stems back to those crazy Puritan pieces of shit that settled this country.
I just listened to that episode.
These fucks ruined this place. So many cool things that could have happened. Like, no, they're like, no, we need to be a little crazy. We're gonna go take this big rock over here, Plymouth. But yeah.
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 So what was the story that led into, you said?
Well, I'm glad you asked. A second teacher from the exact same school is also on OnlyFans.
No way.
Dude, I thought it was fake, but it got shared by one of the local Nebraska news things that I see on Facebook, and I'm like,
yeah.
First of all, it takes place in Missouri. I don't know why they're sharing it, other than to get clicks, but I'm glad they did, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it. But yeah. Yeah, this lady, the second one, is an English teacher and varsity cheerleading coach.
Heck
the
yeah,
same,
she is.
Yeah, I was like, I've seen that movie for sure. But yeah, she basically joined it, like, because the other one was doing it. Like, they had kind of like, oh, yeah, actually, that's not a terrible idea. And since, you know, the first girl was fired or put on leave, she ended up resigning, because obviously, why wouldn't you? And they talked about how their subscriptions have increased, you know, massive percentage increases.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at first, the only people buying their stuff were the dads picking their kids up from the fucking, at the end of school.
Yeah.
Now the entire country knows about their pages.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy money, easy decision to make. Yeah. Yeah, I'd quit real quick, too. But yeah, pretty cool.
I mean, it sounds like if there are any hot teachers that watch this show, if you're trying to make some money, start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Accidentally leak that you have an OnlyFans.
Submit it to us. We'll leak it.
Accidentally leak it.
Yeah.
And then you'll just become rich and you can just stop teaching anyway.
Yeah.
Like.
And like, if you handle your money even a fraction better than some of the people that I see on the, like, because you see influencers and stuff, and they just like immediately buy the $10 million mansions and like the crazy cars and stuff. If you live responsibly with this massive like influx of cash, like, you could set yourself up pretty well. And then you could get a fucking cool job that sustains that. And then you have a bunch of money banked up, you know, whatever. But yeah, so one of the two was talking about how much money they were making, and it was between $3,000 and $5,000 before they got caught.
God.
Yeah.
So probably closer to like 8 or 9 right now.
Yeah. Or
if not more.
It's got to be way more than that. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I remember when we did that story about that girl selling her bathwater or whatever the hell was going on.
Bella Delphine.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, the fact that more, like, I get obviously you don't want people to know, but there's so many ways you could do it, like do stuff like this anonymously. I think I had talked about it last time. You just Photoshop or AI fuck your face up, and then if you have tattoos, you might need to cover those, I suppose. That's kind of identifying. But, like, I saw an article the other day that there's an AI on OnlyFans that makes money, too. So, like...
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
so,
that's it. We're starting an OnlyFans. All right.
This is our OnlyFans, okay?
Right? Yeah, I know.
We're already there.
And it's doing terrible.
Pop one for
Maybe
the boys.
Maybe if we start doing these episodes and I'm shirtless, that'll help. You know, really spike the views.
Just crashes into nothing. Fuck. Damn it. Well, sure, that was going to work.
Going the wrong way.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's pretty cool. I don't have the links, otherwise I'd say, yeah, go support these ladies. They need it. They don't have jobs anymore, but, you know.
I mean, I'm sure we could find it easily.
Yeah. Well, yeah, their names are in the article that I found, but weirdly enough, this StLouistoday.com doesn't link to their OnlyFans. Which I
How
think
dare
is rude.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other high school related news,
Damn, dude.
how strict were your dress codes in high school?
Let's see. I don't feel like they were crazy. I mean, I think
Like it's pretty standard, like
yeah, like your shorts could only be so short.
yeah, spaghetti
I
straps.
did get suspended for a day for I had a shirt that had a spoon and a fork on it.
Yeah, you would.
And it said spooning leads to forking,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny, but apparently can't wear that, which I didn't get suspended directly for that. The next day, I wore a different shirt. And it had it just had the silhouettes of girls and the back and and then the behind them it had like film, like the generic film whatever behind
Yeah.
them, and it said amateur filmmaker. And this band teacher was like, "This is the second day in a row you wore inappropriate shirts." So I couldn't wear either one of those shirts anymore. And then I went to the principal's office and he was like, "You just don't care about our dress code," and I got suspended for a day.
Hilarious. Way to go.
Which is dumb because I feel like those shirts were just funny.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're causing distractions, man. Cause that's always what I heard. Like, it's always about the distract. You're just gonna distract. You're disrupting the class with your. Like, I got in trouble for a shirt that had a curse word on like the very bottom of the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
Like that, nobody's looking at that part, bro. Like, it's barely on there. Cause it's like a Korn concert T-shirt.
Yeah,
It
yeah, I
said,
remember you
"Bitch, we
talking
got a
about it."
problem on it." I was like, okay. So, and I wore that shirt countless times before that, which is
Right.
hilarious. But like, obviously, it wasn't an issue, and then you just happened to look at it. You know, whatever. You're bored that day. I get it. But that was always the thing. Is they're like, "Oh, you're good. You guys are just trying to cause disruptions. You damn women and your shoulders and your spaghetti straps trying to disrupt everything." So I found a story from in British Columbia, and
Okay.
this girl who was sent home because her clothes made the teachers feel awkward, and she was let me describe the outfit. She's got a black dress over the top of a white turtleneck.
How dare she?
And they're like, your dress is like lingerie because it has lace on it. Like, that's the only thing that it has
Could you-
lace,
I'm
but she's
guessing-
wearing a turtleneck.
Yeah, I'm guessing you couldn't see anything, but
No,
let's
look,
not.
there's a
you know,
picture
let's
of
not
her
make
just.
sense.
She looks like a girl wearing a dress with a turtleneck under it. I don't know. Isn't that fucking crazy? They're like,
Yeah.
yo, no. Inappropriate. Your perfectly reasonable outfit. Get the fuck out of here.
Was this in Nebraska too, or what?
No, it's British Columbia. I told you.
Yeah, same difference. British
Yeah.
Columbia, Nebraska.
It's right next door, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her dad was mad because she's like, you know, she had a snowboarding accident and wasn't active for a while, then started going to the gym, feeling better about herself, and then usually wore track pants and a hoodie. And then one day she dresses up. They're like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. All right.
It seems extreme.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they said that. But
I mean, obviously they probably didn't say that directly, but I mean, like, I can remember like it being whatever, but then also I remember there were girls that wore like cut off jean shorts, and you know, I mean, they'd get talked to, but I don't know.
did I ever tell you the
I feel
story
like-
about like watching my like the counselor and the vice
Okay.
principal look for people?
It was like what they did every day. Like, ooh, too much.
Well, no, I seen it a couple times. We were like in the lunch area where we're eating, and you know, obviously we would see the girls first because, you know, they're
I got a
dressed-
radar for these things.
dressed real cool, and we're teenage boys. And like I'd look, and then I'd look over, and I'd see either the vice principal or the counselor just like fucking staring at him. And then like 5 minutes later, he'd go over and walk. I'm like, getting like your mental film reel going, or like why you what? What's the delay for?
Look, how dare she dress that way and distract me? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't be a teacher. All right, with you dressed like that. How am I supposed to focus?
Like there was one girl, I remember this example very specifically because she had a denim skirt that was appropriately length,
Right.
but there was like they had like the distressed look, and there was like a worn mark, which would have been like right where her inner thigh would have been.
Okay.
And he was like, your skirt's got a hole in it, and that's what I was like. He was just staring at her for like 5 minutes.
Right.
Am I the only one that finds this weird? And we're all making fun of him, like fucking weirdo. So yeah, I've never really understood like the phenomenon of dress codes. Like I just don't get it. Like if you think that the school is gonna collapse the hint at shoulders and thighs, that like what kind of show are you running in the first place then, if you think that that's all it's gonna take to blow everything out of whack, you know?
Yeah.
Like just let people wear some shit that makes them comfortable. I don't know, like let the person who wears a gigantic hoodie and baggy sweatpants every day compensate for the fact that this other person doesn't want to wear that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or let us all wear super cool futuristic spacesuits or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. That, like we said earlier, that's the baseline puritanical beliefs of the country
Yeah.
coming through. How
Yeah.
dare you show your ankle? All
Your
right.
devil ankles, you harlot. Yeah. So, anyway, that's my tangent on schools. Did you hear about this thing in Maine? Freaking mass shooting in Maine last week.
Oh yeah, the cornhole tournament. Yeah.
It was at a cornhole tournament?
It's related to cornhole. Yeah.
And he was an Army reservist, too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Did he lose? What's the deal?
So I don't know the whole story, but I know that the cornhole community's gotten behind it pretty well, and there is a still ongoing tournament up on Scorholio that you can just join and pay into, and they're
like
using
donations.
that, and they're using it as a way to give money to the families for people who got killed.
God damn.
Yeah. I wish I knew the entire story, but yeah, it's linked to a cornhole tournament.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of information either, other than that it was, I don't know, it's like a bowling alley where he was at in one of the images, like a still of the security footage, but they ended up finding him. He shot himself in a parking lot of a place he used to work at. It was like a recycling center or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a Maine Recycling Corporation, and he was in the back of a tractor trailer. And the police had been in that area and searched that vicinity, that property,
Yeah.
but they didn't check like the overflow lot, and that's where this guy was. And I'm like, bro, if there's ever a time to, take the extra couple minutes and search for, the extra ground or whatever, it's when there's an active shooter going on, I feel like. But I don't know how long he had been sitting there, though. But what I was going to talk about is that I guess this guy had, leading up to it, there were like threats that coincided with this guy. And then also the one thing that I did find, they're like, well, he bought a silencer. I'm like, okay, but not every person that buys a silencer goes on a killing spree. I mean, it is
That's
weird
true.
that people buy them, but especially since they don't work like in the movies,
Right. Yeah. They're still pretty loud.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's crazy. So there's 18 people dead and 13 plus wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it was a 2-day search, like trying to find this guy before they found him dead. So, yeah.
That's
And
insane.
Then nobody really has anything like cause or anything like that. So that's great. I think those ones are the most annoying, is when there's like no real reason. At least the people who leave manifestos, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I can kind of like get an idea of what the issue was, but like where they're just so random, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's name was Robert Card.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm getting my stories mixed up. And so 4 of the people that were killed were part of a deaf or hard of hearing cornhole community.
Oh, okay.
But there's nothing that directly says he was shooting him because of cornhole. But
Uh-oh.
still, 4 of the people that were killed were part of cornhole, and because of that, the cornhole community has been raising money.
Yeah.
For
Well, I mean,
those
it
people.
seems like too specific to have 4 people from the exact same thing. Like it would assume that they were at some kind of event, right?
Right.
But what it is, I don't know. Yeah.
That's insane.
And then the most recent and wild news, Matthey Perry from Friends drowned and died.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, 2 days ago? 2 days
On the
ago.
28th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
No drugs found on the scene. No foul play is suspected. But yeah, he recently, I know he like cleaned up his act. He was kind of, you know, boozing a lot over the years. And then I know when he was younger, he was heavy into like pills and the cocaine. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, you never watched him in Friends? I mean, makes sense. He's kind of all over the place, but. And he even talked about, he's like, there's like seasons where I don't even remember filming, like,
Wow.
yeah, which is crazy, especially in like that kind of job where you have like lines to remember and you have
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
do
say.
shit, like that's crazy. Yeah.
Just on fucking autopilot.
Yeah. So that's pretty upsetting. I mean, not the biggest fan of Friends, but I do like him as an actor.
He's been in some other like good
The whole 9 yards. That movie
Yep.
is hilarious. Yeah. 17 again. I really like that movie. That was good.
That was a good movie, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So
Ugh.
that's all I got.
Yeah.
We'll
All right.
Close her out on a sad note.
Yeah, okay. So, am I the asshole for telling my friend with kids that I'm glad the village, quotation marks, doesn't exist anymore? I have a friend, Bella, who is in her late 20s and has a toddler and a baby. She consistently bemoans the fact that the village doesn't exist anymore and people aren't helping her and her partner with their baby the way they used to in the past generations, and how selfish it is and how terrible this society is now. She's really bitter. Her mother won't retire and babysit the kids for free, but her mother is only in her mid-50s and can't afford to retire yet. She constantly complains she can't travel or enjoy her life anymore because she doesn't have a village. After years of this, I told her I'm actually really glad we have moved away from that, because the village the parents romanticize was actually the unpaid labor of women, and as a woman who doesn't want a child, I'm glad that I'm no longer considered socially obligated to babysit other people's kids for free or do household chores for people who choose to have kids in my free time. Especially because these people won't pay it forward to me in any way, and if something happened to me, like getting really sick and needing help, they'd use their kids as a reason they can't help me. I'm also reminded that the village, depending on women not having jobs, and it is a good thing that women can now sustain themselves and aren't forced into dependency of their fathers or husbands. She said that I'm just a really selfish, child-free person who wants mothers to suffer, and I don't think I was wrong. And then she said I was a bad feminist and a terrible person who hasn't spoken, and she hasn't spoken to me since. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I mean, is her friend, does it say, is her friend Casey Anthony? It sounded suspiciously like a lot of the things she said before somebody randomly killed her kid. I don't think this person's an asshole at all. I get it, like, what, and also her saying that doesn't really do anything to the other person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the other person, I think, is the asshole for basically going, I wish that we were in this, you know, more historical period where people could take care of my kid when I want to do stuff, because also you wouldn't be able to do stuff because you'd be taking care of kids, so she's dumb. Like, I love the people that like to romanticize stuff like that and then don't take into the fact that the bringing of certain things could potentially impact them themselves. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, well, because the village she's talking about is like when all the women used to have to stay home and do just housework and just take care of kids, and the men went off and did whatever the fuck they wanted whenever they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
There's never been a time where this village she's speaking of, where it was just like, all right, cool, my mom's got it.
Yeah.
Which that does happen. People's moms do retire and watch their kids, but
yeah,
what she's talking about is definitely
like
a
a fantasy land of like
the 1950s where it was all
and we all just
sunshine and rainbows.
took care of our kids. Like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you ever read or had to read Plato's Republic, but like he describes his like ideal society, and then it was like one where, you know, your kids kind of get dropped off at this place when they're bored, and then every time you go to visit, you take it, like you get a random kid that you take care of, like you.
Oh.
So like everybody's taking care of random kids as if they were their own. So the idea is that all of the kids get raised at the absolute best because you're all like they're all getting the best parts of everybody, right? But like that's what I thought about, and I was like, well, that never actually happened. That was just him like, yeah, we should do that.
Well, I mean, even that thought process is flawed because
Yeah, it would never work. Yeah,
because if you think about it nowadays, there are people who exist that are fucking terrible to their own children, and you'd want to subject your kids to that?
Yeah. Listen, I didn't say it. I was just saying that's what he said. But yeah, I think this person is not the asshole, and that's I agree with pretty much the whole thing. Like, I don't bend your like life around people who wouldn't do the same. Like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends who have kids that would be very helpful with whatever and have been. But it doesn't sound like this person is, so I don't know. Kind of sounds like she
Sounds like she just
dodged a
regrets having
bullet.
kids.
Yeah. And that's
Like her friend, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how old did it say how old the friend was?
It just says late 20s.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, and then the mom is in her 50s and obviously can't retire. And like just to be like, yeah, I think my mom should be, you know, retired now so she can watch my kids so I can go do the stuff. Like, no, that's not how things work. Like, it is your responsibility because you decided to, you know, have this human. Yeah.
Well, it's two. She has two. She has a toddler and a baby.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I mean, but still, like you decided you wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
That's part of being a parent, is taking care of your kids. And yeah, it does suck it can suck whenever you want to go do something, but then you're like, well, I have kids and I can't. And well, that's just a part of being a parent.
Yeah. Yeah, I see some of my friends who are parents, specifically friends that are moms, and I don't know if this translates to the dad side of it or not, but I see some of my friends who are moms that share things on Facebook talking about, like, you know, the dreams of the mother, like, are not like wasted, they're like paused in a way, because like you do have to put, and that's, you know, kind of true, like you do have to pause your life and like focus on this kid more so than you would before, right? Like you have to split your attention on stuff, like you can't just go, the kid will be all right until my trip to Greece, and then and then they'll figure it out. Like, no, you kind of got to make sure the kid's good until, you know, they can sustain themselves, or your mom retires apparently, and then
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so that's my thought.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the poster is not an asshole. I think her friend has some growing up to do, and it's kind of sad that they're in their late 20s and this is like what they think is going to be the best turnout.
It kind of sounds like if I was going to if I was just gonna assume her friend's entire personality based off of this exchange, it sounds like somebody who has really never been told no until her adulthood.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that is becoming a struggle with her, especially where she's like mad that her mom won't retire early and take the huge financial hit that would incur.
Yeah.
Just to watch her kids so she can go travel and shit. Like, I don't know. Seems like a very egocentric kind of output, but I don't know this person. So I'm free to make those judgments. Kylie, I'm very excited to hear what you have to say about this one.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chantel, I feel like she'd probably have some good ideas on this one, too. All the moms comment.
Come on, yeah. Come on, all the ladies of West of Nowhere. Light up that comment section.
Yeah. Let's go.
Next week should be fun.
Yeah. They're like, no, you guys are just dumb fucks. I'm like, damn it, I know it.
All right. We'd like to thank our friends, the Dutch Endeavor podcast, the Kicking It with the Kellys, and the Remedy Room, and the No New Friends podcast. As usual, all the links can be found in the description down below, and you can go to our link tree for everything from there. Patreon, leave comments on YouTube, rate us on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. If you look up West of Nowhere and you spell it correctly, we're the only thing that comes up for like the first 6 things. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so be about it.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. All right. That's it. I've had enough. Peace out, bitches.
Tip your bartender.